Hi, so I recently talked about past life regression and I talked about a little bit about what it is and reincarnation, all of that. And I want to talk a little bit more about past life regression and specifically about who were you in a past life? And were you somebody important? Were you somebody very famous and well known? Some people will all say that they were one person. Like, there's a bunch of people that have come out and been like, oh, I've been like Madonna in a past. Not Madonna, oh my god. I meant to say Marilyn Monroe, not Madonna. Kind of similar energy though. But there's a bunch of people who would be like, oh, I was Marilyn Monroe in a past life. So does that mean that all these people who have gone through past life regressions, if all of these people actually did, that they're all linked in the same soul, that they're all Marilyn Monroe? Of course, we all can't know for sure. There's also a thing I believe in called soul splitting, but that's a different story. That doesn't as much involve past life regression and reincarnation. So are all those people connected? Probably not. And I bet a lot of people who say that they're some grandiose famous person likely haven't gone through past life regression, but I do want to say this. I believe in past life regression, but you can go through past life regression, and even if, like, say a bunch of these people come out and they're like, oh, I'm this one famous person. If people go through past life regression and they connect with that story, they connect with that previous life in any way, if it's able to help them heal, recover, connect to themselves now, and focus on different areas of their lives that can help, especially with karma and past life ties, then I think that's great. So I think people shouldn't shame people who do think those things. If it helps them, and if it helps them heal, then I think that's great. Discover themselves, I think that's great. But I will say, most people don't have famous past lives. For me, all the past lives I've done, I've never seen myself as a famous person. Most people, are day-to-day people, especially like back then. If you were a famous person, you were probably just like royalty. Like back in the older days. So most of the time you are not going to see yourself as a famous person, and that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. That's more likely to be the case. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible for you to be a famous person in a past life. And what I was saying earlier about, like, can different souls in this lifetime be the same as a previous soul? Like, there's a thing as soul groups, but that's not the same thing as soul splitting. So those are very different topics.